Hello, this is Angi Burns, the owner and publisher of the Burns Team City Lifestyle, and welcome to City Lifestyle with Angi Burns. We love to celebrate the best-in-class businesses, the organizations making a difference in our community, and the individuals who are making an impact on our residents here in our area. Hello and welcome back to City Lifestyle with Angi Burns. I'm your host, Angi Burns, and I'm here today with our guest, Julie Barlow, who is a business broker with Transworld Business Advisors. And she's going to tell us a little bit about herself and what you can do if you are interested in learning more about how to sell your business, or all of the tricks and tips and all the things, what that process looks like. So we're going to go into that today. So Julie, tell us a little bit about you and your business first to start off with.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been a business broker about 3 years. Prior to that, I have owned 3 brick-and-mortar businesses and about 20 years in real estate. And so I ended up making a career change about 3 years ago after buying my last business and decided this would be a really good fit for me. And so I've really enjoyed it. So we help people sell businesses and buy businesses and kind of act as intermediary, bring them together and handle the whole transaction.
Fantastic. So if somebody is considering buying or selling, they can come to you for advice and mentorship and kind of walk them step by step through that process.
Absolutely. I think that one of the best things to do is to talk to somebody like me to get an understanding of what does that process look like. Even on the buy side, there's things that you should do to prepare ahead of time. You know, you need to know what a lender looks for. You need to know how businesses are priced, how long it takes, what the process looks like. On the sell side, it's even more important to come talk to me before you're ready to sell, because a lot of people don't realize that their business has value in a lot of cases.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of businesses nowadays closing their doors. We're seeing a lot of businesses, the economy is very turbulent at the moment. And so a lot of people are just shutting down. And I heard you make a comment the other day about before you make the decision to close your doors, come talk to me, because your business may have value that you're unaware of, and somebody may be willing to buy it.
Absolutely.
And you just may not be the right fit for that business, but it doesn't mean the business isn't profitable or a good business model.
Right.
So explain that a little bit about who you're looking for or when somebody should come talk to you.
Absolutely. So because we specialize in Main Street businesses, small businesses, these are people just like a lot of our sellers. These are people who have always wanted to own their own business. It's been their dream to have, for example, an Italian restaurant or a sandwich shop or maybe, something like that. And they want to do it, but it costs so much to do it from scratch. So if they become aware they can buy something that's already open for a fraction of the price, and you as a seller are leaving yours, that's a great match.
Right.
You're not going to get back everything you put in probably, but you're going to get more than you would if you just let your lease run out and shut the doors.
Yeah. So is it like online dating? Like you're going to find the right match for the right person?
Yes.
Like, these are my interests. This is what I like. And then this is what I have to offer.
Yes.
So how does that process work?
Yeah, it's exactly a good way to describe it. I often call it, professional matchmaking for businesses, because a lot of times, there's not a perfect ideal buyer for every business. It's going to sometimes be a very unique type of buyer who wants that specific industry, who wants that lifestyle. For example, some buyers want to work in the business. Right. And other buyers want to manage from afar. They don't want to work in the business. But some businesses are very heavy as far as face-to-face in the community, actually have to work in it. And then other businesses are set up to run more remotely. And so we're trying to match the two along with price. What the business is making or could be making and what a buyer's willing to pay. Yeah. Also things like location and things like that. So I usually start with a discovery process with buyers particularly. Tell me more about you. Yeah. What are your hobbies? What are your interests? Even aside from the financial part. Right. Let's just talk about you and how do you envision your life?
Yeah.
And then on the sell side, of course, let's have the conversation now. If you're thinking about, my lease is up in a year, this is a good time to talk. Okay. Let me talk to you. Let me look at the business, tell you if it has any value for a buyer, because we talk to buyers every single day and we know what they're willing to pay and we know their habits and their preferences. And so I can tell you, okay, this is what the market is saying. Right. So with your business, this is why it might have value to a buyer. But I also try to be really upfront with people. If I feel like I'm going to have a hard time selling it or I won't be able to, I will let them know that.
What are some of the more, I guess, eagerly anticipated types of businesses? What are the ones that buyers are really looking for out there right now?
Yeah. Well, so the trades are very hot right now. So anybody who owns, oh my goodness, HVAC goes super fast.
Okay.
Yeah. HVAC, plumbing, lawn services, irrigation services, med spas. Anything with recurring revenue, and since wellness is so big right now, there's a huge boom towards that. Manufacturing and distribution, those are big as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So what does that valuation process look like? So when somebody comes to you and say, I have this business here, do they just turn over all of their financials to you and say, here's my P&L, here's my balance sheet, tell me what it's worth, or what does that process look like?
That's a really good question. And another advantage to having a broker help you is that you don't have all these buyers demanding all this from you. Because a broker, if you were to hire me, I serve as the kind of the go-between. Okay. Right? I'm the one who keeps the gate. Okay. You can edit that part, is the gatekeeper, so to speak. So the seller would entrust me with their financials so that when a buyer inquires, they have to sign an NDA and all this stuff. But if I'm just having a conversation with somebody initially and they're just curious, a lot of times I will ask them for some top line numbers. I may not get deep into the tax returns, et cetera, for just a casual conversation, but I can generally tell them, here's kind of a range. Right. But if we need to do a full valuation, yes, I'm going to get all their tax returns, their balance sheet, their P&L, a list of their furniture, fixtures, and equipment. I'm going to ask them a whole lot of questions about like their customer concentration, vendors. There's a lot that goes into it. And then we do market research too. So we can pull comps on what things they're selling for.
So let's say somebody has a business and they have a team within their business that's been there for 15 years. Yes. And they're ready to exit, but they don't want to strand their team. Can you put it into the sale that they have to keep the team, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a good question, because surprisingly, or actually not surprisingly, because I've been a business owner myself, most owners want their team to be secure. Right. Right. And ironically, most buyers, they want the team to stay in place because that team has been an integral part of the success of the business. Not all the time. And they know the business. Most of the time.
They're already trained.
Yes. Yes. So it helps when they get in there with transition time. Of course, there's exceptions to everything, but we can do a couple of things. 99% of the time, it's just understood because we don't recommend that you tell your employees that you're selling during the process, because that can lead to repercussions that will not be good. Right. But when the time comes, a lot of times there's just an understanding that these are the employees, they're going to stay on. But if you want to make it really official, you can put an employment agreement into place. Okay. You can negotiate that in, that the new owner will set up an employment agreement with those employees.
And I know we have with City Lifestyle a transferable policy within our agreements that if somebody sells, then our agreement with them then goes to the new buyer. Do you handle all of those aspects as well? Of which contracts do you have to keep? Which ones are, can you then switch up vendors and that sort of thing?
Absolutely. So as far as like franchises, for example, we are the go-between a lot of times with the buyer and the franchisor, because we have to get franchisor approval. All the systems and processes have to go forward in the same way. And so a lot of times there's proprietary information that's expected to be transferred over. But generally in a sale, the customer list conveys with the business. The vendors convey with the business, or the knowledge of the vendors, but of course the buyer can shop and change if they want to. They're not obligated to use the same ones. But if you have contracts with customers, that's going to convey. That is part of what gives it value. In fact, contracts and recurring revenue, that will give you more value than one-offs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So when you're thinking about it, you said about a year-ish is when they should start reaching out to you before they actually are ready to pull that trigger, or?
I would say if you want to do some exit planning and be very strategic about it, probably longer than that. Okay. So it takes us on average 8 to 12 months to sell a business. Okay. So I usually tell people, if you want to sell in the next year, you need to talk to me now.
Yes. Yesterday.
That's right.
6 months ago.
Right. Yeah. But if you have, you want to do it, but you're willing to put in a little bit of work, I would say, 3 years out, something like that. Because ideally we need 3 years of solid financials too. Okay. And a lot of people's financials are a mess.
Right.
And so we need to get that sorted out and straightened out.
Do you recommend specific, do you have recommendations for bookkeepers or CPAs? It's like, hey, let us help you get your ducks in a row because it's a hot mess express and we need the train going on the track the right direction.
Yes.
So you have referrals for all of that. So if somebody is truly just lost and treading water, they can come to you and say, help me get on the right track and on the right path so that I can exit this clean and not have to stress over all of that.
Absolutely. And that's where I think I can add a lot of value to people too, even if they're not ready to sell, because I'm very well connected. As you know, I do a lot of networking. City Lifestyle is a part of it. And so I know, and the funny thing is I network all over DFW. So I know people on the east side, the north side, et cetera. And so I can recommend a good bookkeeper, an accountant. Sometimes you might need a fractional CFO. Sometimes you need to clean up your social presence. We call it social currency. That's important too.
Yeah. So nowadays, that's insane.
Huge. Yeah, huge.
So you help people with that as well.
Yeah, I can refer them out. I've got great people I know who can clean up your social media accounts, help you with your Google My Business profile, help you gain reviews, because you need to be building all that and it needs to be solid, because that's another thing that conveys is your social media accounts.
Yes.
Unless they're rebranding or something, but even then you can do it and then rebrand. Most of the time they want that. So if you've already got accounts that have, 10,000 followers and you've got a bunch of 5-star, this is good. Yes. We want that. Yeah. Okay. So they're buying a business that already has a strong presence and strong reputation.
And that brand awareness is already there.
Yes.
I had a client that a few years ago, she told me up front whenever she signed with us, we do marketing. So we're all about growing a business and getting the name out there and getting customers in the door. And she told me, I'm going to retire in the next 5 years. And so she wanted to increase her marketing as a part of her exit plan so that her brand was more noticeable and had more of a presence and a brand awareness. So it would be worth more when it was actually being sold. Yes. And it worked. I think she tripled the value of her business because she increased the marketing in those last 3 to 5 years before she actually went to sell it.
Yes.
Because everybody then knew the name.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it was worth more.
Oh, yeah. And we can also connect you we have exit planners. We have business coaches that specialize in that I am, friends with and network with and have seen their work. I've listened in on what their plan is and I'm in agreement with it. And so I can really kind of give them a strong endorsement when I refer them. But if somebody's willing, if they have the mental energy to stay in a business and put in some more work, they have time to increase its value.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the main factors that give us the value? What are you looking at specifically that's going to be able to increase the value?
The net income, so the profit, is actually more important when it comes to valuation than the top line gross revenue. Okay. Now we do look at the trends for the gross revenue. We do look at that, but the margins and that bottom line net is what a buyer is paying for. They're paying for a multiple of that net income, adjusted net income. They're paying a multiple of what that current owner profits.
Okay.
And that can include their salary. It can include, their health insurance, anything that an owner gets as a benefit from the business. All of that is like a package is what that multiple is based off of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's another reason why it's really important to have a good business coach or somebody that can help you with the margins, right? And because there's lots of levers you can pull in between, reaching customers, closing the sale, and your bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you want to be doing all of that.
So when it comes to a buyer and you're matchmaking them with the right people, what are the things you tell them to look at other than that net value? When you're making sure they're the right fit, what are the questions you're asking the buyer?
Well, I'm asking them, does this lifestyle fit you? Okay. I know personally, don't buy something that's 2 hours away from you if you can't get there regularly. I'm asking them, how do you feel about employees?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want them or not?
Do you want a lot of employees? Would you rather not have a lot of employees because those have their own set of challenges?
Right.
So we're asking that. What are their skills? What are their strengths? Right? Because that's going to determine, and I'll tell you this because we work with SBA a lot. We do a lot of loans. SBA is very honed in on relevant experience for buyers or borrowers.
Okay.
It's very important to them that the buyer has either exact relevant skills or what they call transferable skills.
Okay.
Right? So they really look at that. And so I have to ask those questions because I don't want to waste their time, if if all they've done is, work in blue collar work and they want to buy something that's like a high level, I don't know, AI or something,
or wealth management.
Completely unrelated. It's probably not going to be a match. So we ask those questions. That's some of the things I'm asking the buyer too.
Okay. Yeah. And you said you work with Main Street businesses. So how small to how big?
We don't have a small. We don't have a minimum size. Okay. We'll sell everything from, I personally have sold hair salons for $30,000.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's a steal.
I
don't have relevant experience.
It
so
is.
I couldn't step into that one. But
I've sold, 4 hair salons in the last couple of years.
Does going to a hair salon count as relevant experience? I've been to a bunch of hair salons. Therefore, I can buy a hair salon. I don't think that'll work.
No. Well, normally the people who buy those are stylists who've always wanted their own place. Right. And so that's good because, again, it is a steal because what it would cost to build it out.
Do the build out, do all the things.
Yes. And so it is a steal. But then all the way up to, we have manufacturing, $2 million, $3 million. I've got something coming soon, not myself, but another broker that's going to be probably $14 million. That's probably the top of our range.
Okay.
As far as what we call enterprise value, which is the price that we put out there.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic.
And these are all privately owned businesses. We don't do giant corporate, mergers and acquisitions. These are small business owners. It's not that they can't have an LLC or an S Corp. They can.
Okay.
But it's an individual or a couple of individuals who have built this business and not big corporate-owned companies.
Okay, fantastic. So if somebody is interested in learning more about buying or selling their business, how do they get a hold of you?
Yes. Okay. So you can contact me at jbarlow, J-B as in boy, A-R-L-O-W at tworld.com. That's short for Transworld. So it's T as in Tom, world.com. You can call me at 817-556-7534. Or, of course, you can find me on City Lifestyle's website. You can find me there.
CityLifestyle.com.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And then you can look under the businesses or you can go directly to the Rockwall publication and she will be listed there, and you can read her articles that she's provided for us there as well. As the expert in the industry. So, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Julie, for joining us again today and having us out in your home. Thank you very much. Welcome. We got to do an on-site interview today. So that was super fun. Well, we're very excited to watch you continue to grow to help all of the businesses here in our community. So thank you so much for everything that you do and connecting everyone to the right people to help them grow their business. So thank you. We'll see you next time. If you are looking for the best place to market your business to our local community, we are a nationwide brand, so we have over 200 publications across the nation, and we really do value high editorial integrity, beautiful photography, and making sure that your story is told in a respectable and beautiful way. So if you would like to learn more about how to become an advertising partner of City Lifestyle Publications, feel free to reach out to us because we are your ticket in the door to get you face-to-face with your next client.